Now, would 13th Hour ever write any original songs, or have you?
13th Hour didn't. I guess that was kind of a time where we were, I guess, coming off the Syre thing, and I was really on a kind of a bit of mental hiatus from writing, and I was actually even a little hesitant to play at the time. It was just one of those things where I needed a year or so off, and I was kind of coerced back into playing by Ted Bushy, who I mentioned earlier that we worked on Same Room with. And we originally started off 13th Hour, and it was called Weird and Bushy, which is, a little fun. And that evolved into the 13th Hour thing, and a few different players rolled through, all of them great. But it was just kind of more of a fun thing with 13th Hour. It was, a night out with the boys for a couple of beers, and you got paid for doing it.
Absolutely. Now, how was the experience of staying in LA condos with Danger, Stone Roses, and Extreme?
That was quite interesting, actually. It was, I seem to have the interesting luck of, almost getting killed in many of these cities. In that LA, I can remember getting to the condos, and these are kind of famous condos for musicians that are working in LA. And they're interesting in that you kind of drive in, and it's an underground access, and then you can't really get into the building except for going through the underground, and then there's some courtyards that are all open, and so there's a penchant for everyone leaving their doors open to the courtyard, and it's just a kind of a big mix of bands and the odd party folks that know to book there and to hang out with the bands, I guess. We had some interesting parties. The Stone Roses and I'm trying to remember, Danger were great guys, really nice folks to hang out with, and the Stone Roses guys actually everyone was great. I just remember that the British folks were particularly wild, and I thought we were wild. So they had a good time. We had some good parties, and people ended up in the pool and had a lot of fun. And the town treated us well. LA was good to us, so we had a good time, and the people I met there were fabulous, and it was an interesting place.
Definitely. Now, what were Stone Roses doing there, being from the UK, trying to, I guess, break into the US at that point?
Yeah, I never really asked them. I think that they were just doing a bit of recording, and I think that they were doing a couple of TV shows or something. Seemed to kind of be what strikes me as their reason for being there. So they probably had, a bit of a mixed bag happening, maybe looking for production or some people to work with, and doing a couple of TV spots and things like that.
Definitely.
The Danger Boys, I think they were from LA,
yeah.
So I don't know why they had rooms there, but I think they got rooms there, and the Extreme guys, they were, I think they were there just getting ready. They did a show at the Concrete Foundations, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
At the Hyatt. I think it was the Hyatt House, the Riot House. And that was a great thing too. The Concrete Foundations. I think Priest was there too, if I remember correctly, and did a small show. So, but it was interesting partying with all those folks, and it's always interesting having an international flavor to these things, right? So,
absolutely.
Britain and Canada and the U.S. and yeah, it was all good.
Definitely. Now, when you played LA with the band Nitro, porn star Barbara Dare also attended the show in LA. Did you get to meet Barbara?
Barbara Dare. Yeah. That was interesting. Actually, we ran into we were with Nitro and we ran into Barbara Dare and Nitro. We were with Nitro, I think, in the west coast of Canada too, and in Edmonton. I want to say it was Tesla and Motley Crue. So we were hanging out with Nikki Sixx we were playing in Vancouver the night before.
Okay.
And all the Motley Crue guys were there. I think David Lee Roth was there too. And I was talking to Nikki Sixx for a while, and he mentioned that they were in Calgary the next night, and we were in Calgary the next night, and I think Tesla was opening for us. So anyway, long story short, Nikki asked us to call him the next day at Bob Rock's studio house, and then we were traveling by bus, and they were flying, of course. Nice, eh? So we were on our way to Calgary, and partway there, we phoned the house and managed to wake the Motley guys up, which is kind of funny. I guess they were up later than we were, and ended up getting to Calgary, and we were doing sound check, and I think it was sound check or something, and one or two of the Tesla guys showed up where we were and got up and kind of jammed, and it was early, and I was sitting at a table and with our road manager. I think it was George, and we were kind of ordering a sandwich, and there was a girl and another girl there, and they were sitting kind of beside us, and ended up talking to them just kind of in passing. They were having something to eat or a beer, and we were having something to eat while we waited for the sound check to be finished. And it turned out to be Barbara Dare, and I think Chris, our bass player, had a crush on Barbara Dare, so he was thrilled that she came out to one of the shows. But a really nice person, actually, to chat with, and she was traveling with her manager, who was this other girl, and they came out to the show, and I think they knew the Nitro guys. So, that was another reason for them to come out. The Nitro guys were great, too. What an interesting band.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Jim ended up marrying Lita Ford.
Yes, he did. You're right.
Yeah, good guy. Great singer. And actually, they were all kind of neat guys. We ended up running into, when we were in LA and Extreme and all those guys were around, we ended up running into the drummer for Nitro again, and he ended up coming and hanging out, partying too. I wanted to say his name was Jim, I think, or something.
Cool.
Yeah, nice folks, so.
They always had the biggest of everything, Nitro. The biggest hair, the biggest guitar sound, the highest vocals, so they definitely nailed that fact.
Yeah, and the most guitar necks.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.